Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy, Ozza64. I'm here today to address a bit of drama that's been circulating through the OCE Twitter sphere regarding a lot of pro player toxicity, toxicity around the region, competitive integrity, all this other stuff. I've heard a lot of your feedback, and I'm actually very surprised and taken back by the response that I've got to this kind of thing. I never would imagine in a million years that this was going to happen. So, this video is going to be broken up into 4 parts. An introduction, my competitive experience, Riot's competitive structure, and a conclusion. I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible, as clear as possible, and try not to make any cuts or anything like that. And I just really want to speak from the heart, because I feel very passionate about this, and I want you guys to know I believe in OCE. I want OCE to be the best region there ever was, and I care a lot about League of Legends. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for League of Legends and the community that I've been a part of. And I feel very strongly about certain aspects of my journey and my time here. So, the introduction. I'm going to make it clear through a lot of your feedback from these Twitter posts, Twitter responses. Thank you to everyone that's contributed. It is very valuable to me. I'm going to keep everyone's experiences, my experiences with players, coaches, casual members, anonymous. I don't think calling anybody out is going to solve anything, and a lot of you have actually called me out on this and alerted me to this point. And I think that's very correct. If we want to get anywhere, we don't want to live by hate. And I was kind of on this self-righteous warpath, and you guys pulled me back, so thank you. So, OCE. I feel like we have a few problems in terms of our region and our competitive standing internationally. And every year I see similar things happen, and I wonder, why are we not as good as the rest of the regions? Is it because we're so distant from a lot of other regions, so we don't get to develop and experience how other people play? I think I came to the realization that our players are the ones holding us back. And I'm not going to say all pro players, but from my experience, when we are having a bad game, our professional players tend to bring the games down. And I'm not saying that I've never brought a game down either, but this is just how I feel. So I'm going to move on into experiences, which leads me to this topic. I have wanted to call out so many people, and I probably hold a lot of resentment for a lot of players, because it's not just you're shit, you're this, you're that, you can't do it. It's because they know who I am. They're going to bring me down. They're going to talk more shit about me. And I'm not trying to stop everyone from improving. I'm not trying to do anything negative. But I've been met, excuse me, by a bunch of players that I believe didn't help me improve, didn't help me in any aspect. And my stance on professional players is that these people are paid to play the game. They're playing solo queue. That's their job. But I don't think a part of their job is to blame others for losing. To me, a professional should be leading our players because what's losing to them? They have scrims, they have coaches, they're learning in a team environment. They get all the resources they need to improve. And a solo queue environment is essentially a pickup game where they stay warm, they stay practiced, they're playing for mechanics. And yes, there's LP, there's the ladder, there's the pride, there's the bragging rights. But I think there is more to that point. So, one experience. I popped into a champion select. I had 2 professional players on my team. And I was playing my main role, but they convinced me to role swap. So I went to support, said, all right, let's do it. Cool. This is a free win. You guys are going to carry me. So now they're both in their main role. And what ended up happening is that we started losing. And who ended up copying shit? Me. I ended up copying shit. The thing is, I still wanted to win when we started losing. Because in my mind, we had professional players on our team. We had the advantage. We just have better players. That's just how it is. We can come back. We can turn it around. We can work together. We can win the game. But they spent most of the time telling me how shit I was. And then also, when I was the only one that didn't surrender, they were very annoyed at me. So what ended up happening is that I went to this one of the person's stream, one of the players' streams, and to his 30 or so viewers, I caught him saying, you know, I wouldn't hate Ozza so much if he just surrendered. You wouldn't hate me if I didn't give up? I don't play this game to give up. I play this game to improve and to learn from my mistakes. I don't play this game to lose. Which also brings me to another point, or another story. Another player, he's top lane, he goes 0-3. He's died 3 times in a row. I'm having a great game, 30 CS up on my opponent. And he starts telling people to surrender. We've lost the game. I've learnt from my mistakes. Let's move on to the next game. And then I was like, no. I want to keep playing. I think I can carry you guys. I believe that we can win. I'm ahead of this guy. We've got scaling champions, looking at the positives. And then I felt like I had to defend myself. You know, probably should have just kept playing. Who gives a fuck? But at the same time, I get annoyed when it's a professional player. You don't get paid to give up. So, why do I think this all matters? Is because our solo queue environment is conditioning our players to give up when we're having a bad game. And I'm saying this is just based on 2 experiences. I'm just trying to keep it short. I've got plenty more. I've got really bad experiences, but I don't want to make this about a negative compilation, you know? I want to use this to highlight what I'm trying to say. And if our professional players, these people are at the top, right? These people are sitting at the highest level of play within our region. And if they're coming into a game with an aspiring competitive player or anyone else really, and they're giving up because of someone else's mistake or their mistake, and this is to do with Korean culture as well, because I know that they developed this culture because of PC bungs, and they're paying money to play these games, and they want to go on to the next one. They want to get as many wins as possible, and that's a fast-paced learning environment. And I know a lot of pros want this, or they've had the luxury to be able to experience Korea, solo queue, and all these other different servers. But let me tell you, a lot of the other player base has not. They don't have this luxury. Which brings me to maybe a solution, is that our OCE competitive culture does not promote success. It does not promote improvement. If you are not challenging other players to improve, these players aren't going to challenge you and cause the professional players to improve alongside it. Every single time I came close to a professional, I started to beat them. Did they ever say, "Good game, I'll get you next time"? Like, "Good stuff, damn, nice work"? They told me I was shit. This happened a few times. I don't want to make this completely about me, but again, this is what I've experienced. You know, they practice a lot, they learn a lot, they have very good coaches at the highest level. They know more than me. They've experienced a much higher level of play. And does that ever trickle down to me? Or maybe other players? In my case, no. I know that I make mistakes. I know that I have flaws, but I know that I also have really good games. And potentially when I lose, it'd be really nice if instead of being degraded, made fun of, bullied for having such a shit game, maybe some kind of help or understanding or patience. That's alright. But in most cases, I've wasted someone else's time. And also, I'd like to offer the other viewpoint is that, yeah, I might lessen the gameplay quality by some kind of crazy standard that OC is some incredible region. Professional players have bad games too. They're not perfect. They are not. But the fact of the matter is that they're entitled enough and put on a pedestal that they can't have bad games, or their bad games don't matter compared to the games that I influence. I'm in the exact same game as them. And maybe there's MMR gaps, MMR differences. You might get a D4, D5, or whatever, and you're playing in Challenger. Guess what? That's a challenge. I'm going to carry this heavy player, even if they're griefing, even if they go AFK. There's games where, sure, you can give up. But there are games where I've seen people complain, moan, and this is a professional player, by the way. I saw in a video very recently, there was a support player who was playing a range support, and this professional ADC was complaining, "Oh man, I wish I had this melee support. I wish I had, like, I can't believe you did this. Let's give up. Let's give up." And then this person didn't give up, and they ended up winning. And I kind of just think that what happens if we invest time into saying, okay, if you don't want to give up, let's go. I'm going to try. I'm going to try. I'm going to be right there alongside you. And I'm going to push you because you're the one that doesn't want to give up. So let's do it. Let's challenge each other. Okay. Let's move on to Riot OC's competitive structure. From a current standpoint, I believe OPL is the crown. This is what you want to make as an aspiring competitive player. This is where you want to get to. Let's talk about the various levels of competitive play that we also offer within our region. OCS and OOL, formerly OOL Grassroots, which is the challenger scene, semi-professional level, and then the open ladder scene, which is amateur. I have played in both of these leagues, and over the years, it seems that these leagues just don't matter. I believe that this year's OCS has the least amount of impact on our competitive region in since ever. I do believe that the OCS is getting worse competitively. We have teams scrounging for players. They're late with their rosters. Their rosters are all over the place. So why do I think this happened? It's because we tried to um, what's it called? We tried to franchise. So all of our OPL teams have sister teams in the same way that North America has their kind of, sister teams and their 10-man rosters. But the issue that I think we encountered is that there is no threat that OPL teams are going to demote now. There's no threat that OCS teams are going to demote either now. And this kind of removed that competitive intensity of, oh, our team's going to get knocked out. We've really got to put thought and time and energy into this team. We've got to make sure these guys are practicing and doing everything they can to win. I don't think it's like that now. I think people are just creating rosters and they're just chucking it in there and then, I don't know, seeing what happens. I don't even think that first place, second place really matters. I don't think any place matters for that matter. Let's move on to grassroots. What's the definition of grassroots? I believe that the grassroots is we are the grassroots of OCE. We're growing. Our grass is growing. We're growing. And then there's this ceiling. We can't grow any further than this ceiling. There's these amateur players that are playing all of these tournaments. There's no exposure. There's RP, but there's no real point of winning. And why do I think this? It's because I won a lot of these tournaments after my first season of OCS, and it didn't go anywhere. These wins didn't matter. No one cared. No one was watching. That's the thing, is that this is where our OCE caster talent grows as well. And there's a lot of dedicated casters out there who are trying really hard, who are improving a lot, who are very professional. And they don't know how to grow past grassroots. There's no pathway anymore. There's a pathway that's closed from the open ladder to the semi-professional ladder. I don't believe there's a way in. The better way in is through solo queue and getting high on the ladder and making friends. I believe that you don't even have to play open ladder to get into OCS now. You can just play the ladder and then join a competitive team environment. So you hone your solo queue mechanics and you go straight into the OCS. I don't believe that is developing good habits. Because our region needs to succeed in a team environment, not as individuals. We need to succeed as a team. We need to grow as teams. And we probably have a lot of very strong teams. But I think this this heavy focus placed on having a good KDA, having good win rate, having a high rank, doesn't always define who the player is. Because this is a solo player, not in a team environment. Sure, there are very good solo players out there, and you can slot them into a team, and then you can just build them up from there. But there are a lot of players who don't always work like that, me included. My strongest characteristic is teamwork. I never give up. When I'm on a team, I am the emotional rock. I'm the strongest member on that team. I am never going to say die. Because that's the thing, is when you're fighting for your region, you don't want to fight and then give up. You want to keep fighting. And that's what I did in OCS. I never once wanted to give up, even when I had some bad games. Trust me, there are some good games as well. There's some really good games that I had. Which leads me to my next point, is that I believe there was a comment made saying that toxicity overshadows OC's achievements. And I would like to add on to that in saying that my achievements are overshadowed as well. Everyone looks at all these bad games that I've had, these bad teams that I've been on. I played in the OCS and I came last both times. Did anyone actually look into why they came last? No. Did anyone see the games that I actually ended up carrying? No. Those games weren't casted. They should have been, but they weren't. I made a video, a montage about it. I thought that was going to change some minds. It didn't. The fact that I got Challenger didn't make a difference. And I saw all these other players getting teams who were lower ranked than me, didn't have as much experience, but they just knew someone, so they were on the team. To me, that seems very unmotivating, very disingenuous. Doesn't really promote a healthy environment. Because my weakest trait is that I'm not very good at networking. As you guys can see, I've got a very notorious reputation for all these different things that I really don't think I am. But a lot of people have led me to believe that's who I am. And I was battling with it so heavily. It's very hard. And you know, maybe one thing, maybe it's unique to me. Maybe it's just me who suffered all these negative things, all these players giving me bad experiences. I've even had coaches give me bad experiences. I just kind of thinking that I wonder if those coaches that shit talked me actually spent time and said, hey, I think you're shit, but actually, you can improve in this area. And if you want to improve, go watch this video. You don't even have to do any work. Just because coaches should be watching videos and studying things, or, offer me a challenge. Go study this VOD and tell me all the things wrong with this, and I'll see if you're right, seeing you're on the right track or not. Even if a pro player said that, just reached out, gave me some form of encouragement. Hey, I know you cop a lot of shit, but keep trying, in one of the good games that I have. Because believe me, I didn't get to Challenger by going 12-0 every game. Believe me, I had very good games, and I've beaten top level players just as they have beaten me. That's how solo queue works. You win some, you lose some, you can't win them all. But I focus on myself and my impact and how I improve. Chances are, I know that I'm feeding, I'm having a bad game, but I also know that I'm also carrying, and I know when someone else is having a bad game, and I don't really think I need to tell them about it. So, to conclude, we're getting there. To conclude, I believe professional players need to start looking out for our competitive players. If there is someone that isn't resisting criticism, chances are they'll probably listen to constructive criticism. So that D5 player, the D4 player that went that went 0-12, that what I used to be, maybe give them advice. Hey, I saw you're laning, or you probably noticed something. Oh, you overextended. Like even the Twitter thing, right? There was some kind of like offhanded advice slash criticism or like highlighting the mistake. Just cut out all of that negative stuff and say, hey, I saw you overextending. Watch out for that next time. That probably caused us to lose the game, or it made it hard for us to win. Be like, yeah, damn, my bad. And that's, they can own up to it, right? But it's not your job to criticize other players and make them improve. But it is your job as professional players to represent the highest level and to support other players getting to that highest level. Because without players challenging your spot, coming for your ass and your OPL position, you're not going to be inspired to improve. You're going to be complacent. You're like, man, no one's going to touch me. Like our structure is all set where you have to know the right people, you have to get the exact right rank, you have to have a good reputation. It's all these things that don't challenge us as a region to improve. Because it's not the fact that we don't have a player base, we don't have this, we don't have that. We have all the tools that we need to succeed. We just need players with attitudes that want people to succeed, not just themselves. So as pro players, you get paid to play the game, and you're talking shit to other players that don't get paid to play the game. Saying, oh, you're wasting my time, you're this, you're that, you're that. Like, you have scrims. You learn things. That should be very rewarding. Whenever I scrimmed, I wrote notes. I learnt the most in that environment because guess what? I can control what support I have. I can control what my teammates do because we're all on communication, talking to each other. We're working together. But in solo queue, you don't have that control. People have bad days. People have bad weeks and months. One of the players that almost won OCS went from a million LP to D5 in a couple of weeks. And I had the exact same issue. Is because I'm trying to prove to everyone how good I am, but no one wants to give me that. And that's fine. But maybe next time when you see someone having a bad game, maybe just don't say anything. Maybe just keep playing. Because I want to build an Australian, New Zealand. I want to build an I want to build an oceanic competitive culture that supports everyone. Because I keep hearing all this small percentage, small percentage. Because yeah, we are a small percentage. And we have the luxury to know a lot of our players, even our casually competitive players. We have the opportunity to know these people. They're in the community. We have a very small community. We're like a group of people, and instead of just having these small high school groups and being immature and talking shit about everyone, we can bring everyone together or attempt to. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to do anything. You can keep talking shit. Because I want you guys to be the change that OCE needs. I want to be the change that OCE needs. I can't do it alone. I can stand up here and just speak for hours and hours about this stuff. But I know people are probably already bored of what I'm saying and probably like switched off, downvoted, get out of here. But if you're still here, thanks. Because maybe I've said some points that you might like. Who knows? This is only the tip of the iceberg. Because I've clearly said something, I've clearly done something that people know about, but no one's talking about. Sent a massive ripple. I've seen so many people, pro players, community members, talking about this, tweeting about this. This definitely hits close to home for OCE. I couldn't make friends with coaches or pro players. They hated me before I even spoke a word to them. One coach ended up talking shit about me for doing something I didn't even do, but generalized me because there was a meme about me that enabled everyone to bully me. And a lot of other players are on there too. There was no player who would take accountability for shitty actions. And this reaction of mine has said, I want to take a stand. I want to stop being afraid to say things because I'm too afraid of people shitting on my reputation. That shouldn't matter. Yeah, I should learn how to network better, make friends better, but if you already hate me before you've even spoken a single word to me, you have no clue. You have absolutely no idea. Because let me tell you, I'm a lovely person. Very nice person. I'm very easy to get along with, and I will always treat you with respect. Given that you treat me with the same respect. You know what I'm saying? It's very hard to make friends with someone who has shit-talked you without even knowing you. Maybe if I've given you a bad experience and then you're shit-talking me, then yeah, okay. Maybe you can call me out on it. Who knows? I can be accountable too. I even saw someone who told me that, I've flamed people. And yeah, I probably have. And that's actually probably the last thing is that I know people change. People can change. I just want you guys to be aware that OC isn't going to get better as a region until you guys take accountability for your own actions, realize what you're saying to other players, realize that they could be trying just as hard as you are, and they're not even getting paid for it. OCS players don't get paid much, or maybe they do now. Since I've started working, I made more in my 3-year career in 2 weeks than I did just from streaming playing. But, I wasn't a very well sought after player. But I did believe that I am still at an OCS level and I could still make OPL if I had all the resources in the world. But I don't. I've invested all the free time I had into this game. I gave it a big shot. And I knew that I could fail. And I did. That's alright. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I tried my best. There were probably things I could have improved on, things that I could have done better, not taken things to heart. But this is where I am now, and I have to accept that. That's completely fine. And if I just vanish off into the OCE mist, or whatever happens, I'm completely fine with. Because I'm happy with who I am. I'm happy with what I've become through this journey. I've quit smoking. I've started exercising regularly. I'm starting to sleep properly. I'm doing all these things, and it's because when I would play League of Legends, I wanted to give myself the best possible chance to play well. And it was fun. I enjoyed every minute of it. I loved it. The ups, the downs. But I know we can be better. And I know we can enable other players to be better too. So please, take everything into consideration. Give me a comment. I don't know. Do whatever this. I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm so glad I got this out. This was nice. So, thanks so much for listening, guys. Follow your dreams and stay legendary, fam. Peace.